In speaking on the use of outcome measures and my own kind of opinions on them, I think it's fair to kind of establish some of the background that I have had previously. I just graduated in May of 2019 from Illinois State in their undergraduate athletic training program. So I don't have the same professional practice experience that some of my other colleagues may have, but at the same time, I don't think that completely takes away from my opinions of what I've seen as outcome measures or in outcome measures so far. I think that in their use in professional practice, they're useful, but they should always kind of be taken with a grain of salt. And what I mean by that is that you can have a lot of different ways of judging progress, whether that be from your objective measures, from what patients may say to you. But if you're truly looking at how an outcome measure has its effect and the use of an intervention and its effectiveness, I think that because each patient should be taken as their own individual, there will be different effects for a certain intervention between your patients. Obviously, if there is an overarching trend, then that should be deemed valid and useful and should be taken into consideration when providing your intervention. But at the same time, some of the barriers and challenges may come with the sense that not all populations are the same either. And so if you have an outcome measure that seems to be working more in male college athletes versus non-active elderly population coming back from whatever type of surgery, there's a difference there. And I think your outcome measures should then be weighed differently in that as well. So kind of thinking about what that means for me going forward. Like I said, I'm coming from Illinois State, and the majority of my clinical assignments in undergraduate were with Division I college athletics. Now, I've had a variety of sports with basketball, football, volleyball, soccer, and track and field, so I've had a lot of different sports. But I did not have the same amount of time in the clinic setting, or I did not have the same amount of time in the high school setting. I'm moving into the high school setting now for my first certified experience. And so I think some of the things that I've been able to do in the past with the athletes that I've had in my undergraduate may be a little bit different than what I can do at a high school coming up, because, like I said, with different populations, they can have varying effects or varying responses to what I'm trying to do in terms of a intervention. So like I said, in terms of outcome measures, I think that they're overall a very useful tool when applied correctly and are able to be found easily and used properly. And I think it's a great way to track change, but like I said, the change has to be meaningful for everyone involved. And so an outcome measure doesn't really matter much to a patient who just wants to know if they can go up the stairs, if the outcome measure is just talking about an extra 5 degrees of range of motion. So those are my opinions on outcome measures.